looks like we're up and we have audio.
All right. How is everybody doing tonight? This is Thursday. I played 2 nights in a row now. It's got me all messed up. Like, I just don't even know what day of the week it is. But it is Thursday. And here we are playing once again in the Aquatic Adventures in the Land Between Two Rivers, which has a poison sea. Sometimes it's kaleidoscopic. I actually drew the world map for the world for the first time the other day, just because I got bored. And I was like, wow, it's pretty cool. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. I have had an up and down kind of week, and so I'm glad to get to play in our setting with these new characters. But let's see how everybody else is doing. Grant, how's it going, man?
Well, Jim, I'm just ecstatic and happy to be here on WebDM Show's Thursday night presentation of Aquatic Adventures in the Poison Sea. I am over the top thrilled to be returning as Weirus Dune, the Triton Paladin, and absolutely no shenanigans will he partake in tonight, for he is a pious Triton of the gods. I don't know.
No hijinks, no capers, nothing like that. Nothing at all. And Lindy, how's it going in your neck of the woods?
Oh man, busy, busy, busy. But besides that, pretty good. Hanging in there. My sanity is partially intact, so that's really all I need, right? I'm going to be playing Ophelia. She is a half octopus lady, essentially, and a barbarian, and she likes teeth a lot and fighting things.
Excellent. There you go. Yeah, and we can get to see what she's been up to and what trouble y'all will get up to now. And that's great. And TK, how are you doing?
Hi, I didn't see you there. It's me, TK, heartthrob of Ravenloft. How are you, Jim?
I'm doing all right.
I don't care.
Doing all right. And yeah, I figured.
It's me. I'm just hanging out. We're gonna see some eldritch horrors and swim around in a sea. Fun fact, I can't swim.
Oh, well,
that's it.
There you go. All right. So
that's it. That's all I have to say.
It turns out I've forgotten how to swim as I try to teach my son how to swim. And it's
typical.
Right. It's like, what am I supposed to do with my arms? But that's, in the real life, and it's much less important than this fake imaginary world that we live in occasionally, every now, a couple hours every week. So last week, it is, come on, just go with it. Last week, portion of the crew, consisting of Calliope and Myrtle and Larimar, as well as one Brutus, a water buffalo minotaur, and then an extraterrestrial or extraplanar, I should say, merfolk that they picked up along the way, explored deep into this swamp that seemed to have a bunch of like technological horrors and the like that have gone to ruin and rust here in the slow-moving channels of this coastal swamp. At the moment, Larimar was heading for an old converted sort of like columnar structure that looks like grating and sort of like a metal grid type structure, suspiciously like an offshore oil rig. And it is inhabited by a colony of techno otters who have fashioned all manner of goods and devices for themselves out of the scrap to be found here. Now, somewhere in this swamp is the pirate Nasher, which is the pirate that Bellet is going to rendezvous with to acquire the other half of her map, which supposedly will lead her to a mythical isle, the Isle of Light, and its riches, wonders, and treasures. So that portion of the crew had gone to scout ahead, figure out what the source of a large sort of like geyser that was erupting at the entrance to this swamp was all about. Turns out that was a water tunnel that the people from the plane of water were using to swiftly move about, but they are missing, and they were due back soon, and none of the scouts or anyone else who have been sent out from the crew have reported seeing them, and so Bellet is starting to get worried. Now, for Grant and Lindy, both Weirus and Ophelia they've had the better part of the day to kind of do whatever it is that they'd like. At one point, Slagfunk, who is the aquatic hobgoblin, took Weirus on he and the two of them on a shakedown run to see how Weirus does in the field, basically. And but they have, let's say the two of you have just returned from basically like a scouting mission. If you'd like, I can roll something up to see what you saw, but otherwise we can jump right into the action.
You can roll, or I can improvise. Your choice.
Let's see what it might have been, and then we'll go from there.
Okay.
Why don't you roll me 3d6?
Well, that would require dice to be ready for this role-playing game. Let me jump into my virtual tabletop of choice. So, okay.
While you're doing that, I forgot to call out our dice provider of choice, which is Tabletop Loot. Go and check them out. Use that WebDM code, WebDM15, and have some dice on us. Get yourself through the hottest June on record.
Seriously, yeah.
Anyway, this is crazy.
My goodness.
Bye, Jim.
It's all right. It's fine. I always will gripe about the weather because I just will. It's a white guy.
So as my browser seems to be lagging out the entire system.
Oh no!
Yeah, I'm gonna close that. Let me go to the old 3rd edition D&D dice roller.
Boom.
Do you want me to roll for you, Grant?
Please.
Oh no!
And they say,
Dice.
"This
Please
is my
let me roll
grandson."
for Grant.
I rolled an 11.
Rude.
Take TK's results.
Pirates is what you saw.
Aw.
Rip.
Yeah. So we could say it's like maybe maybe they were coming and going. Ooh. I know what you guys saw. The pirates you saw were Yonti, snake people.
Oh.
And the pirates that Nasher is supposed to employ and have his crew are more drylanders, orcs, goblins, things like that. And Weirus, both Slagfunk and Weirus know that.
If only I watched WebDM's Wednesday show and could metagame this encounter that happened off screen. No.
Yeah.
Check out the Yanti video. All right, that's cool. I like Yanti. They move in mysterious ways.
Yeah. I mean, like, the two of you are you're just like on a scouting mission, not necessarily a recon force.
I've never seen anything like that before, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm. Certainly. So let's see. I guess then we'll get back at the ship because, like I said, Ophelia's had some time to everybody's basically just waiting for all the scouts to get back. Bellet suspects a trap or something. She just wants to know what's up ahead before she sails the ship into this little cove here. So Weirus would be returning. Ophelia, you've had pretty much a free day. And what are you guys up to then?
Well, I think Ophelia's been mending the fish nets, and then once there was no more to mend, she probably started knitting.
Okay.
Because you never know when you might need some things knit.
Absolutely not. You never know. A sail needs to be knit sometimes.
Exactly. So you never know when it could come in handy. So she's been knitting.
Okay. It's been pretty quiet there all day. Most of the action has been elsewhere. So it's kind of a nice, maybe just lazy day. How about Weirus?
I am making an accounting of all the things that I saw in the woods, and roughly sketching the trail that we followed from memory. But quickly, these sketches and this log turns into a poem for my lost love, who I have not yet met, but surely every Triton has one.
Surely, certainly.
It's our custom back in our faraway land.
I was gonna say, it's like if you're like, Weirus is sort of like a reverse not Aquaman, but like a reverse Atlantean. Yeah. It's like we had to go to the dry land. We were banished to the desert.
Yeah. So essentially, that's what I think it happens, and I'm gonna kind of see strum along with the loot as I pin this together, see if I can come up with a good song for the evening's entertainment.
Excellent. After some time, it's getting to be the first of the suns is almost fully set. The second one is on its way towards setting. And at this point, Bellet is in kind of an irritated mood. She's hoping that they would be back, and that perhaps even before sunset could have, gotten the ship out to sea again. But they can't. And so she's just sort of like affecting everything. Even like other people trying to strike up a little shanty or something are find that it's just not there because Captain is right upset.
Definitely keep my eyes peeled in case I see, them returning. Maybe like, hey, good news.
Yeah. Let's see. I bet at some point maybe Brutus probably would have come back if it looked like it was that Calliope was gonna go further and stay past sundown. Brutus is like, he doesn't want to rock the boat. He's got a good thing going. Larimar, you can come back with him if you'd like, or you can strike out on your own. What do you want to do?
Look, I'm a level with you right now, Larimar. Then I want to go back to the ship. So
All right.
Larimar is gonna like hang out with Myrtle for as long as possible.
Okay. All right. Yeah, there's a nice little like sort of slow, the current is really slow. Nice place to just hang out. And you don't have to be anywhere near the rig if you don't want to.
Yeah. Larimar's like big plan since getting off the ship is staying off the ship and like figuring out how to take the things that Bellet has trusted them with and vanish because they don't know how to tell her that they don't know what they're doing. She seems really scary and she's got like knives. So
that's true. That is true. Okay. All right. So you're racking your brain as
like trying to, but then there's like a super scary thing down in a cave somewhere, and I'm just not really sure. There's got to be some way off of this island and not like onto that ship.
Certainly. Yeah, I can see that. Well, I think that just putting your brain to it would be a good use of your time.
What's my intelligence? Ooh.
No.
Actually, no, my intelligence is 15.
Oh, no, that's really good.
Yeah. Everything else is terrible.
That's fine. I mean, what do you really need it all for anyway? So at some point, Brutus comes back during this period of dusk and sort of gives his monosyllabic gruff report, which basically consists of there's tritons and some kraken eggs hunting, and the what's her name, the new one went in the swamp looking for some otter, something like that. And then he's mad that he had to say that much.
Kraken eggs?
Yeah.
Tritons.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just around there. And he points to the big rock that's sort of like hiding the ship, and sort of you swim around it and go in. That's where the entrance to the swamp is. He's referring to that. Yeah, just right around the corner.
Oh. Fair. Perhaps we should investigate this further.
How
big is a kraken egg?
Yeah, something like that. Like a volleyball sized.
All right.
Somewhere like that. Think you give it about that high? More
right.
Like that? Yeah.
It's like a medicine ball.
Are they like frog spawns? Like where it's just like a cloud of kraken eggs on
the impression that you got from them was that there would be a lot of them.
Cool. Thanks for letting me know that, Jim, because I am stealing it.
Yeah,
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's what Brutus says, and he's covered in gross swamp water. His fur is he's getting all the tangles and seaweed combed out while you're sort of like conversing with him. Well, yeah, he kind of like delivering this to Bellet and anybody else who's sort of around. As I was explaining last time, the time that you've had on this ship, if there's anything, they run a discipline on the ship is very loose.
Mhm.
And so most of them are skeletons that do exactly what they're told, and so the living kind of just they feel free to voice their opinions and the like. So it's sort of like a whole bunch of the living members of the crew sort of standing around listening to Brutus. Yeah. So that's what he says. Anything? Any response from you, or anything you want to do?
Permission to go see the Kraken eggs.
That's fine. Listen, that's fine. We will sail into the cove tomorrow. If perhaps it would be good if some of you were in there. Actually, now that I think about it, and she's sort of, you can see Bellet trying to turn this to sort of like her, like this isn't just me pissed off and doing whatever. It's a secret plan I had all along. And Wirris, I think that Ophelia, see if you can't find the others and sniff out whatever trouble there might be. I will set up. We will cast off and make for the cove or our rendezvous. But we will meet you there. And she kind of gives you a rough sketch. Of course, you've seen what the layout of this place generally looks like. And yeah, as I was saying last week, the ship has most basic equipment already on it. You can assume that you have and have access to the equivalent of an explorer's pack, and
Cool.
not multiples, but you sort of like refill it afterwards. The dock has a variety of potions and specifically keeps a store of healing potions well stocked and has enough for 2 of each for you. Those are just the regular 2d4 plus 2 healing potions.
Cool. Yeah. Pick that up before heading out, because you never know. Never.
Never know.
How many healing potions?
2 each.
Ooh.
Like a serious large amount that he has. And as well, I call them healing potions, but they are in fact more like ciphers, and not necessarily. In fact, nothing is an actual like potion in a vial potion. Almost everything is some sort of like bug you eat that gives you health back, or like a paste you smear on yourself, or like a single-use spell or something like that.
Yeah.
It's really tempting just to eat it now to taste it, but Ophelia restrains herself.
Yeah. No one uses potions since the Great Potion Disaster. And so anyway, Larimar, there's references in those books you got to it. Anyway, that is where we are at. So Larimar is somewhere in the swamp. Wirris and Ophelia gear up, get whatever it is that you need, and can set out whenever.
As we set out, I kind of look back like a dog that's been shooed away by its former owner, and kind of look into the future, then look back one last time. I leave my alms box in case anyone wants to leave a donation to the Lord and stuff, and then I'm going to take off into the swamp.
I'll follow.
Okay. Cool.
No, you lead. No.
Oh, all right. I can do that.
All right. I need let's see, what are y'all's passive perceptions?
Not
Passive
horrible.
perception is
12.
11.
11.
I have a
Where's
12.
12. So as you're you sort of swim around this large rocky outcropping, the beach that the Empress of the Sea is sort of drawn up upon is not very big, and it's really just a couple of minutes swim before it's completely out of view, and you are rounding this large rocky hill and heading northward towards the narrow entrance to this cove that then leads further into the swamp. I posted a rough hex map of it up in our backstage if you want to check it out.
Cool.
And just give you an idea of the general layout of it. And it is as you're approaching that. So give me an idea. Are y'all swimming? The water here is about 50 feet deep, although you can tell it is getting shallower and shallower. Are y'all swimming close to the surface, close to the bottom? Bottom has a lot of like seagrass and other vegetation that you could use to conceal yourselves if you wanted.
But I want to swim towards them kraken eggs. So,
Okay.
just as far as depth goes, whatever depth those kraken eggs are going to be at.
Oh, that you're gonna have to find out.
Oh man. Okay. Well, I guess mid depth then, so I can see above and below.
All right. Okay. And then about for Weirus.
Okay.
You sort of keep pace.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go down with her.
Okay.
And what I'd like to imagine is Weirus has the equivalent of a helmet, but I imagine he has like an angler on it with a little diddly bob light. And it's kind of like unceremoniously like flipping around when he's up, but as he goes down it just kind of floats and bobs, so he has little excuse me, why not, right?
Right.
Allow me to light the lamps.
Excuse me. Excuse.
Yes. And then yeah, I'm gonna go down with her.
All right. So you're sort of keeping towards the middle of the water there, not necessarily safe from the surface, at least from being spotted. So it's not long after you've crossed this this sort of rocky outcropping to your right that underwater, at least, you can hear sort of vague kind of like shouted orders. Maybe it sounds like someone's saying, like, move this over, do this right here. There's the sound of just sort of working or labor being performed, and the closer you get, distance here is, or the visibility here is probably about 40 feet or so. There's a lot of just murk in the water coming out of this cove. And as you get within about visible distance, you can see golden scaled merfolk. They have sort of like long dark hair, and then these sort of lustrous, almost looks like smooth kind of scales for their fishy parts, as well as sort of very noble and almost celestial looking tritons are with them. It's actually those that you can see a couple of the tritons and a couple of the merfolk, but it looks like there are more about. Just they're actually kicking up a lot of this murk with their activity. They don't appear to have noticed you. Most of their attention is focused in the direction of the cove.
Weirus is gonna try to not blush at the celestial looking tritons and like try to fit in, like, yeah, I'm like the hero of legend and stuff, and you're all godly, but I'm gonna take an oath one day.
So are you proficient like religion or anything like that?
I am highly proficient in religion.
Yeah.
And history.
Yeah. So I'm not even. You just like, as soon as you catch a good look of them, you know that these are Chazalarian tritons, a sort of group of very noble and basically like Aasimar tritons, who are closely associated with the what you'd probably call the nobility of the watery realm.
So, okay. And philosophically, Weirus, pondering this, why haven't these noble quasi-celestial tritons taken back our homes or helped us do it? In fact, maybe they sold us out. I don't know. I'm going to keep these thoughts and ponder them in my heart as I approach them, though, and give them the triton salute.
I just wave high.
Right.
Like 6 tentacles too. Like,
oh yeah. They there's actually a they seem to like stop what they're doing. They put their tools down and everything. It looks like they're assembling giant nets at various levels, as well as different traps and the like. And seem friendly enough, no weapons or anything that you can see. And one of the tritons comes up to you and introduces themselves as, oh, where's my name? Carius. I'll put that backstage for you. Greetings, he says in a very boisterous way. Can we assist you in any way? It is our noble privilege to assist the good folk of these seas.
My voice cracks a little and I clear my throat. And I go, I am Weirus Dune of the Tritons who were exiled of the sea, who were sent far away. And I have been called by the gods to reclaim the poison sea for our people. But that is not what brings me here. This impressive specimen of many legs is seeking kraken eggs.
Then you're in luck. You're in a great deal of luck. You see, my liege lord, he endeavors to serve the people of this watery realm any way he can, and has endeavored as his first act of protection to rid these seas of the deadly krakens which infest them, and so often make their way across the planar boundaries to our home. And he's clearly got a lot of gusto and zeal, using almost like archaic language, sort of like old Aquan. And as far as you can tell, like he's literally like out of a storybook. Like he's got the armor, the tabard, the whole like aquatic knight thing going on.
So here's a question: is he like me but real, or am I real and he's more storybook? There's like a quality to him that's more mythic. Yeah.
Like the Shazalarians are sort of spoken of as like the Nephilim or something like that. You know, they're these
something decorative, ceremonial, something pedestaled and performative about his appearance and demeanor.
Mm-hmm.
Where I'm more of a Triton of the earth, which just sucks for a Triton because I should be of the sea. Okay. Well, might you point us to the old kraken eggs?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Well, we know that they're somewhere in the cove. There's a kelp forest just inside the lagoon, and I'm afraid I do not know exactly where they are in there. As my orders are to stay and guard the traps. However, if you wished to seek out any location of the eggs, we would be much appreciated, and perhaps could compensate you for any trouble that you might have incurred in the looking for them.
Oh, I see.
He seemed like super excited that you might do it.
Virtue is its own reward, Weira says with a gulp.
He's like, just couldn't be happier. Like, just exactly. Do you need arms? We can supply you?
Well, I have plenty of arms, and I'll just.
Perhaps just some spears then for those arms. And he, missing the joke of Ophelia's, it seems like
Ophelia is 100% serious.
He is a very earnest and eager individual, and is like visibly excited. You can see that there's probably about like 3 or 4 more of them, as well as some merfolk that look almost like Ganassi. They have this sort of same blue tinged features as legged Ganassi.
Forgive my cartilaginous companion. She is quite the gregarious sort. Is there anything you require of them, Ophelia? They have blessed us and graced us with such generosity. I don't know if I should be trusting of this, but Weirus most certainly is.
Oh, I have my trident here, and we've got supplies before we left, so I think I am fine.
Excellent. Well, if you can find them, then any destruction that you can cause would be greatly appreciated. They will arrive in vast numbers, hatch soon.
How long does it take a kraken egg to hatch?
It takes a little over a century to hatch, but I'm told that the event, when it happens, there will be a great flood of them, tidal wave of living flesh, foaming seawater, as they attempt to make it to the depths, fighting each other and everything else along the way.
I see.
Great story. He will go on and on.
I'm wrapped with attention. I'm like,
Mhm.
this kind of reminds me of like, the time I was born, it's just kind of lots of tentacles.
Yes, lots of. And he was curious about it both from a genuine sort of, curiosity, and also any what's that? Is there any danger? Kind of sense.
Oh, not really. I mean, typically it's just there's enough space. But
Says her, and then I want to spin the yarn of Ophelia's birth and hype it up into an event of cosmic proportions and prophecy. When the 7 moons allied and the ebb and tide began to foam and come to the shores of the land beyond, she came out 8 feet first. It was a 96-hour delivery. I was there and bore record of it. And then I'm going to play the lyre.
This has got them quite wrapped. They're trying to finish, but they seem like you start telling them the story and they're like, fascinating tale of your home. Well, we hope that we can do your people a justice and help them in any way that we can. And at that point, he is willing to equip you with, if you need them, and at least show you the way towards where the entrance of the cove is while he's...
Absolutely.
You can see there's probably a total of about 10 of them working here. And they have at least one water imp that's kind of floating along with them. Most of the time it's completely invisible in the water. It's sort of like more of a ripple or something. But every now and then it reveals itself and sits there like a pudgy gremlin, blue but pot belly even.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Ugh.
What's that show, Lilo and Stitch? Yeah, this might be way too old for me.
Looks like Stitch.
It looks like Stitch.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like Stitch. I don't know. Anyway, yeah.
So
I definitely pat it on the head just so I can see what it tastes like. I taste through my tentacles.
It's like a friendly cat. It warms up to, especially Ophelia. It's like you're like tentacles.
minty.
Yeah. They show you to the entrance to the cove, and indeed the vegetation here gets much thicker and much just larger, and the cove itself is like a seafloor to surface kelp forest. Depth here is between 20 and 30 feet, but visibility is less than 10, as there's just floating and swaying strands of kelp all through this place. It's fairly large cove. 2 ships could easily navigate around in here without much problem, if not more, depending on their size. So that's kind of where you're at. Let's see. They told you that there was somewhere in the kelp forest where the kraken eggs were. But other than that, Brutus would have just kind of told you they went to swam one way. We kept going left. It's kind of the only direction he really.
All right. Well, then I'm gonna go left.
I'm gonna go left. Yeah, I think I want to swim about 120 feet, and I want to kind of get as low as I can, and then I want to try to divine sense to see if kraken eggs are inherently evil, which I don't think they necessarily are. Well, I'm quoting the DMV where it says, at its essence, it's not necessarily evil, lowercase e, maybe capital E.
Sure. I get what you're saying. You're still I kind of feel like we don't
just need love.
Is that kraken's an abomination or a monstrosity? Curiosity. Anyway, I would say it's and what is the range on that? It's like a mile, right?
It's 60 feet, but that's why I'm swimming around. I can do it 4 times. I'm just gonna try to pick 4 points and see if I can find them.
Technically, it's a monstrosity.
All right, monstrosity. It is a big ass supernatural monstrosity, though.
There's 100 of them. There's thousands of eggs.
Yeah. There are.
Meanwhile, Ophelia is peeling back a kelp leaf, looking behind, keeps going. Oh, kelp leaf unturned.
I don't want to raise a kraken to be our own, but that's the adventure now.
Oh yeah, Ophelia totally wants kraken baby.
This is like Free Willy. It's gonna jump over us.
I love kraken so much.
So they are titans, which I think that's fairly sufficiently supernatural, I think. So the first of let's see here. All right, let me just say.
That doesn't work. I get other stuff too.
All right, it takes you 2 uses
Okay.
of the ability to get a ping, right?
Yeah.
And it's in one of like as you're sort of like on the search pattern. It's when you're in the deepest portion of the lagoon that it gets you sort of towards the north, and it's a surefire, whatever it is, however it manifests in Wyrus. It's whatever the lowest grade of that is, just a barely gets your attention kind of thing.
Mm. Just if I heard thousands of kraken eggs suddenly cry out in weird silence. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna start floating towards the ping.
Okay.
And I'm gonna go ahead and put Shield of Faith up. It stays up for about 10 minutes, but I might as well use a spell slot and get a little boost to my AC.
Sure. All right. So let's see here. Push AC, and you're making your way directly towards towards where your divine sense was drawing you.
Yeah.
Okay. And then Ophelia, are you right there with him, or are you off somewhere else searching?
Well, I'm kind of like staying with him because the buddy system. You don't want him to get eaten or nabbed by something while I'm not there to protect him. So I'm doing like a manual search, like looking behind, kelp trees and stuff, and turning up a rock at the bottom. Then I've got him within sight and following him that direction.
Okay, so like that's maybe give me an investigation roll for Ophelia, then see
Sure.
what you find, and then as you're drawn to it, you see a small clutch of them, and they are about yay big, amberish colored. These are looks like they maybe have come loose from a larger clutch and have gotten caught up in the lower branches of a kelp strand.
16.
So Ophelia finds another sort of cluster of them, and
there's the color of your kraken eggs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And you can see these like sort of dark spiral, sort of like writhing, spiraling. They're about the size of maybe like an octopus, that's in there. Of course, octopus come in all sizes, but smallish.
I'm gonna pick one up and cradle it in my arms, like,
it's soft and
so
squishy.
precious.
How far, much further in do you go? You get the sense just looking around you that you see other clumps and clusters of them, and it looks like they increase in frequency the further into the heart of this kelp forest you get. It's wiggling. It's like moving in your arms. Ophelia.
Oh, you are so close to hatching, maybe. Just gently.
Just 200 more years. I want to go. What the hey? Let's go deep into the heart. If we were it's what was meant to be.
Okay. All right. You go in, and it starts to be like where you saw 2 to 3 kind of groups together. It's now like a dozen, and then 2, and then you're starting to see some that are completely weighed down the kelp strands that they're on. They're attached to like old, ruins that are about here, old, the roots of fallen mangroves that have, fallen into the lagoon. It's just at some point you get into a spot where it's every surface you could think of is sort of covered in these eggs.
Oh.
It is beautiful.
Ophelia, what are we going to do with thousands of kraken eggs? We can't raise this many children. I don't even know what kind of father I would be.
I think you would make a good father.
Are we married now? No.
You seem nice, but you don't over discipline. But I guess, okay, how many krakens do you think you could raise?
I
I
think
could probably do
only
10. I have 10 limbs.
I could only do about 3. And at that point, I'd be encumbered. I think I might be able to net some up, though, in, like, Santa Claus.
I did do a lot of knitting today. So I could just
Okay, so...
whip out a shawl.
You know, I wonder if Bellet would want to sell these things or something. Not that we want to sell your children.
Sell babies? That is slavery.
Both of y'all make me a
Well, adoption. Not everyone can have a kid. Okay, a perception
That's
check?
Adoption is fine.
check.
You want to what? You want us both to make a check?
Yeah, just
18.
Perception, you say?
yeah.
Oh yeah, that's all right. I dumpsteaded wisdom energy. 4.
Nice. Where's she gonna hear the sound of an oar hitting the water?
Boats. How large of an oar? We're talking like...
Sounds like a small boat.
Okay.
Maybe they came to adopt some children.
And we're very deep, though, aren't we?
Yeah, y'all are down close to the bottom.
How long would it take me to go to the top?
If you took off your armor, you do it in a move action. Like if you weren't wearing your armor, I guess you could do it.
Didn't we say my armor was special for the water?
It will not rust or corrode, but it still like weighs. It doesn't. It's not like what you call it? It's chainmail, so it's flexible.
Yeah. So here's how we might do it then. I can dash, and I believe I have a swimming speed anyways, so I can dash up.
All right, and Ophelia.
I'll go up a little bit. I'll go up like 30 feet. But I'm here. I'm gonna look after the children. So within a move action of him, but
right.
not on top of him.
Okay. So
okay, never mind. No.
What's that? Are you trying to remain out of sight?
No, I was gonna say I'm not too worried about being seen.
Okay.
I was gonna say we had mentioned it may not apply. As a specific question last time I played about Guardians of the Depths and it impacting armor and weapons, since I should ignore any of the drawbacks caused by deep underwater environments. With that said, we talked about how Tritons might wear armor and use weapons that are designed for fighting underwater.
Oh, certainly. Yeah. You don't suffer any. You don't take you don't do half damage with slashing or.
I'm fine. I'm fine dashing up though.
Yeah. You get up to the top. And on your way up there is a splash in the water.
I got a 15 on my stealth check to blend in with the kelp too.
Okay. And you see what looks to be like some sort of really muscular, maybe an orc. Actually, we're probably much more familiar with drylanders than. So it's an orc that jumps in, and he's got like something in between his teeth, not a knife, but some other kind of tool. And it's got a rope that's tethering him to the boat. Does not appear to have seen either one of you. He's swimming down.
He's tethered to the boat and he's swimming down.
Mm-hmm.
I want to cast... I'm going to save that. I was going to cast Fog Cloud around him, so it's like, oh no, I can't see. You got to go back up. But nah, I would lose my... It's been long enough anyways. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to cast Fog Cloud around him. I think it's been long enough that my shield's gone anyways.
Okay. So Fog Cloud underwater is like stirs up a bunch of murk and muck and things like that. It's the same effect, right? And you can see as he sort of like passes into it that the rope sort of goes slack, like he's maybe trying to change direction or figure out where it is that he's going.
With that said, I stick out like a sore thumb because of my angler light. Yeah, he may have he
I just rolled very poorly for his.
I think I'm gonna start floating over there, and I'm gonna kind of call out, you stuck, you hurt, you caught. It still looks like someone's stuck there over in the muck.
Let's see. How close are you getting?
I'm probably, the way I picture it in my head, I'm about 60 feet away at least. Swimming.
Mm-hmm. You see as you're sort of like, speaking into it, that there is a bright light is lit in the boat above you, and it sort of like begins to move out attached to some sort of maybe a pole or something over the water, and sort of is like illuminating a good deal, about like at least to a depth of about 15 feet of the water. And so there's the murk cloud that you summoned, which still is providing cover for it, but like otherwise they see much better into the kelp and everything. And whether or not they've seen you, you're not sure, but you can hear shouting coming from the boat, although I don't believe you can understand.
I speak Celestial, Common, and Primordial.
Yeah, this is a drylander language, so you can hear that. Let's see. So, Linda, you can hear there's commotion on the water. Someone is splashed. They're moving in. You heard Weir's casting a spell. Now there's maybe shouting coming from the surface. What does Ophelia do?
Well, I'm blended in with the kelp as my skin has changed color to hues of green and brown now.
Uh-huh.
I'm holding a baby kraken. Egg hasn't hatched yet, and I'm just observing the scenario, watching what Weirus does, and I'm getting ready to protect my new child if necessary.
Okay.
I'll lure him away from the babies.
Yeah. So, Weirus, you can see that there is someone in the boat. It looks like they have some sort of weapon and like sort of trained down into the water. Are you still just out in the open? You still got your lights?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna swim up and I'm gonna call out to them. I'm gonna be calling out and Common, hey, over here. And I've got
like
my javelin with me too, and I'm calling out. It's like,
what are you? He's just like the most swamp folk orc. Like looks at it, he's like, what are you? Are you some kind of fish man? Like, what are you doing in there? You can't be in there. And
if an angel and a fish had a child, Weirus Dune would be its name.
Angelfish.
Angelfish.
He has a crudely made barbed crossbow that he has casually trained in Weir's general direction. He seems more surprised than he like expecting more like a monster or something to pop up.
What are you looking for in these parts?
Oh,
I can help you out.
You're not supposed to be here. This is our cove here. You can't swim around in it like that.
I was literally directed to be here.
Who's that? Who told you to be here? Nasher didn't tell you to be here.
The gods directed me. They chose me. They picked me. All of them.
He just like starts laughing.
Is it like evening now?
Yeah, it's getting the sun.
Yeah.
Did he say Nasher?
He did say Nasher, yeah.
Oh, we're looking for that guy, aren't we?
Yeah, you're supposed to rendezvous with him.
Yeah, I'm gonna point up. I'm gonna say, do you see all those lights distant in the skies? Those are the souls of my ancestors. They are the ones who created this planet and all that is, and they chose me. Now listen.
Huh?
They created you as well. You are made of them. You are descended from them.
Those
Yes.
stars? No.
The stars.
No. My mom wasn't a star. She just was an orc, like everybody else.
Your mother descended from the stars as well. And I wish that you knew it. And I think deep down you know that you know it. My brother Orc, let me teach you about the Lord. No, sorry, Weirus is going to get into this place. Weirus is strange anyway. Yeah. He's a far traveler, and he is highly religious. But his religion is like completely concocted by stories and songs of an exiled people that are trying to, make their kids feel better because they've been kicked from place to place. So, Weirus, I see you. Orc, can you take me to your friend Nasher?
Sure, I can take the Nasher. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Climbing the boat, you can swim.
And he's looking around now and realizing he's sort of like talking to someone in the water. You should really get out of the water. There's a lot of things in there.
Yeah. Can I go fetch my wife?
Yeah.
Wife and the baby. We'll be right back. I go down. Ophelia.
Are we married now?
Yes. And I like put like a tentacle lit, which is kind of like jewelry that you put around a tentacle.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like a tentacle ring. We
I can fit through tiny spaces. You just
Yeah,
give
yeah,
me
yeah,
any
yeah.
type of jewelry, I can fit it on a tentacle.
It's like a old cup that's missing the bottom. Just slide it over. Whereas
It's fucks.
now,
Ask if they have a bucket for the baby. I think it needs to be kept in water.
we gotta keep it in water.
Yeah.
All right, yeah. So I fetch Ophelia and our child,
All
Douglas.
right. Okay.
It's a good name.
Yeah.
Ophelia
Are
and
you
Douglas.
attempting to hide the egg at all?
Yeah, we're gonna swaddle it.
I'm gonna swaddle it in that like shawl I
Blanket.
knitted this afternoon.
Yeah.
It'll help keep it damp too.
It's just a baby octopus. They don't know how they look.
They don't know how they look. I'm waiting for the egg to hatch.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. So you've got it swaddled up.
I'm prepared to lie as hard as I need to.
Yeah. And then he sort of like tugs on the rope. The other orc swims up, pulls out like a spongy kind of thing from his mouth. Says something. I don't know how he said. They both sound the same. What are we doing? And they all argue. And are you going to get in the boat with them?
Yeah, we're totally gonna get in.
Yeah,
the boat
I
with
will
them.
get in the boat. I'll just climb up the side of the ship because I have suckers and I have a climb speed, so I can do that.
They this is well, that's you don't see that every day. I knew an octopus once, and he was the most.
Oh,
You know,
And he tells you all about his friend Octopus.
did they have a bucket on board this ship?
Yeah, they have a whole bunch of sort of like.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a bucket. I'm gonna dip it in the water, fill it up, and put the baby in the bucket.
Okay. All right.
Oh,
Rest easy.
little one's gonna be all right then, huh?
Oh
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
the little one needs lots of water.
Sure.
I just need to sing him a lullaby, and then I sing like "Baby Mine" from the Dumbo movie. Just "Baby Mine, don't you cry." And like this is really weird for Weirus. He's like, "Oh gosh, my life is moving so quickly. Gonna have to get a job. Gonna have to move out of my parents' house."
Right.
Jeez.
As you pass by further into the cove, you see a bunch of crested, might call like Komodo dials, feasting on what looked to be a couple of pirates who had fallen into the water. Let's see. Let's check in and see what Larimar is up to. Are you still just hanging out? It's dark now.
Yeah, anything that Larimar does starts to like be based on like what Myrtle is doing. So Larimar has been spending most of this time just like making small talk with Myrtle and then like casually swimming a little bit farther from the rig, like every time just like, oh, I'm just going to I'll just look, Brutus has been gone an awfully long time and he didn't exactly say where he was going, so I'm gonna look over here. And like as it starts like getting darker and Larimar starts becoming considerably more comfortable with being outside in the dark, does not like being outside during the daytime, is too exposed, everything is too bright, it's awful. And eventually like Larimar will sort of round a rock and sort of like drop, like, what am I going to do? I don't know how to get back to the ship. Calliope's not here. I don't know how to get off of this island. I'm not really sure where I am. I have this glyph and it's just like sitting there. And I think eventually Larimar will start like going through this very awkward motion of beginning to unpack their little figurine that they had showed Bellet. And then they'll, no. I'll just, not yet. It's okay. So that's what they've been doing for the last hour.
Okay.
Or two.
Yeah. At some point then, clouds pass over the moon, the closest moon, and for like a half second, you swear it looks like a squid tentacles like curled up as it kind of like grasping the moon. And when you look back in the water, there's those luminescent milky white eyes kind of staring at you from across the channel, out of the reeds and mangrove roots that are heading down to water. And you feel that same sensation. I need Larimar to make me a will save. Or, sorry, wisdom save. We're playing Pathfinder over here.
Look, we both know what you meant.
I almost said Saber's spell, so.
Let me just grab my little right down here and just kind of like, yay!
Boom.
Ta-da!
I did it.
Ramar did it. So it's 23.
Yeah, it's the same familiar sort of you want it, like there's a split second where you're like, I could just swim over there.
Could you not? Please.
Sensing that its lure hasn't worked, you can see ripples in the water as like the eyes move, and then they sort of sink down into the water, so it's obscured. But you can see the glow as it comes closer to Larimar.
Oh, don't love it.
Are you doing anything?
I think Larimar will like back around the rock. It is just like, oh, maybe if I'm on this side, it'll just forget about me.
You can't hide.
Oh, if I don't answer back, it won't know I'm here.
Our master desires a task of loyalty. Prove yourself.
Oh, now is not a very good time. I have a lot of things on my plate.
All things happen in our master's time.
Oh.
It's always a good time.
Okay, I'll hear you out, but that's not acquiescence. It's not the same.
Bring 3 of the kraken eggs to the cave.
Oh, that's not so bad. I'm sure I could. Do I have to carry them? It's just silence. It's just like dial tone sounds. Just like, how are you?
As long as they are intact, it is sufficient.
Okay, I think that's fine. Is there somewhere that you would like them, or
in the room, in the cavern where we first met?
Ooh. Oh, that's so scary. Okay, and then we'll just stop having these conversations, right?
I will talk to you again.
Love it.
And as it sort of like swims back, you catch a brief glimpse, and it looks instead as though it's got these 2 milky white eyes, and then 2 smaller sets underneath them as it kind of like slowly fades into the murk of the channel.
Don't love that. Oh, that was very unpleasant.
And Myrtle is nowhere to be found.
Oh, neat. Okay. What if I just I guess I could just go now. And Larimar will like also sort of sink below the west, just like, it'll take like 5 minutes, that's fine. So yeah, Larimar will start to make their way back.
Okay. Yeah, it's no problem.
The kelp forest.
Yes, you're able to make it back. No problem.
Don't love that.
Just give your second. Anyway, real life stuff. Back to the kelp forest and the lagoon. So Wyrus and Ophelia passed the sort of scene of these crested commododiles feasting on pirates, and you're making your way through these waters. They get shallower and shallower, and the vegetation gets more thicker until you're really just sort of swimming through like a waterlogged field, maybe. These great big towering mangrove trees sort of like form this tunnel above you as you head deeper into this swamp. And after maybe just a couple of minutes in this passage, it opens up into an actually kind of a nice, clear little lagoon. There's the vegetation here is not nearly as dense, and so you can sort of like get a better view, feel for the place. There are two boats here. One of them is a rather tall-masted wooden ship that just is sort of like a classic, sailing vessel. It's got 3 masts, great big sails are currently stowed. It seems like a well-made and well-maintained kind of archaic ship. The other one looks like a Mississippi steamboat that has seen better days. Seems maybe waterlogged or partially beached, and one of its paddle wheels on the side has had so many repairs on it, you're not sure how it could turn. And it is sort of crawling with drylanders. You see lights coming from inside of it, and it's attached via a short pier to a little village that hugs this portion of the lagoon. A bunch of drylanders are coming around. You can hear a bunch of like shouting, songs, yelling, fighting. It's like a little pirate town.
This here is Corsair's Notch, and watch your step and everything, but you should be fine. Most of the fish people, they keep to their own business over there. And he kind of like points to a patch of water.
Good to know.
Take Ophelia by the tentacle and lead her like Aladdin led Jasmine through like the street markets. Come, clutch the child on the wood. It's like, oh gosh, where are we gonna raise babies?
I've got some tentacles holding the baby.
Wonder what
in
the
the bucket.
rent's like here in Pirate Town.
What's that?
Nothing. I said I wonder what the rent's like here in Pirate Town. They have low income
Set up and
housing.
have a good life for ourselves. You can also see sort of further in and to your right that there is a extremely large metal building covered in sort of creepers and vines and the like. But it doesn't seem as though anybody really is going there or messing around with it. Most of the action's happening at the other end of the lagoon. So y'all stay on the boat? Are y'all getting out?
We can get out of the boat and look around for Nasher.
Oh yes, that's right. You guys had asked for him, or you were just sort of were like, yeah, we'll go see what's there.
I think I'm gonna ask around for him.
Okay. As you get off the boat, there is it looks like maybe a group of, I don't know, actually, where she kind of look like people of faith. They're sort of surrounding what looks to be some sort of makeshift altar or something. They're standing like facing the water. They've got clearly some sort of like religious instruments or something. Not like musical instruments, but like censers and, and a little gong or something.
Just to get it off the table, there's no like bugbear statue and like goblins handing out pamphlets or anything.
Nothing like that.
Okay, good. Yeah, just making sure, because if there's like the 98th chapter of Gilded Knights, it's like, all right, we're just a little suicide pill he keeps in his cheek, bites it. No.
All of them have sort of like homemade and rough-made jewelry on, either from seashells and other driftwood and other bits of aquatic flotsam, and their hair is shaped and fashioned to resemble fins, tentacles, spines, things like that. They've got it all spiked out or like dreadlocked with like big, thick, what look like sort of tentacles coming off their head.
Yeah,
and jewelry to accentuate it.
If they're not in the middle of a ceremony, because I wouldn't want to interrupt a ritual, I want to figure out what this is all about, because they seem to have a connection to the gods, same as me, being how I was chosen by them and all that. So, yeah.
They are. It looks as though there's 5 of them, and one of them is sort of like sort of the center of focus, not the most elaborately dressed or anything. And how long do y'all stay and watch the ritual?
As long as first
I don't
sigh-
want to
Okay,
interrupt.
I was gonna say first sigh out of Ophelia. We're not hanging out there. I know how marriage works, and so yeah. So we're this is the wedding episode. We. Well, I don't want to live in sin. Can they marry us officially? No. So no. Yeah. I want to watch for a little bit. I'm gonna hang out for a little bit, but I kind of want to keep eyes out. And I kind of want to see if they interact with us at all, because some churches are like, "Come hither and see and participate and partake of our mini Kool-Aids to drink." And then other churches are kind of like, "No, go away. You don't have the mark on you." So I kind of want to see how they respond.
Yeah, it's the one that you can get the best sort of glimpse of appears to be a let's see what it looks like. Another orcish figure, although clearly, I mean, it looks like he's been like cured in salt, kind of one of those sort of weathered faces. The person who's sort of the center of attention, their back's to you, but they're very tall. You can't see that they have fur of some kind coming out from beneath their robes. And at some point, they make their way to a set of wooden steps in the pier and wade into this shallower part of the lagoon and begin to ritually drown the one with ropes coming out. And it's not like a pouring water over his head kind of thing. It's like the four of them grab him and hold him underwater while he clearly is trying to resist.
I'm gonna offer to be drowned. If he dies, I mean, I'm amphibious. I can pretend to die and come back.
I can breathe water.
The four of them stand up, and the guy's floating in the water. You can tell he's got the muzzle and facial features of a gnoll. Weirus.
Oh, gnolls are the worst.
And the other four get up and seemingly walk away as this body of this sort of robed gnoll floats out into the lagoon.
I want to check him. Is he dead? Is he deceased?
He's face down in the water, dead now.
Oh,
Not moving.
I shelter the top of the baby bucket with my tentacles.
Oh.
So.
All right. The other
Keep
remaining four are like
seesaws.
headed y'all's way. If you were,
yeah. Okay. So he's floating out. So if they're heading our way, yeah, I want to greet them.
Greetings. This is the salty orc. You have the mark of one of the blessed ones. May we help you?
Yes. We seek to learn a little more of your ways, for they are intriguing to us. And you know, we got married recently, and we're looking to settle down, and we thought a new church might be good for us. So if we could learn a little bit about it and possibly raise Cecil in the light or the darkness of your ways, that would be good. Also, we're looking for a friend of ours named Nasher.
I happen to have a close, intimate relationship with Nasher. Perhaps
How intimate?
I am his confidant, confessor.
Oh, I see.
Eyebrows go up and down.
And he sort of like looks with a bit of kind of curiosity and maybe skepticism at the bucket.
That's our
But-
baby Cecil.
Cradling it.
The cult of Cthulhu, where we celebrate life. Yes. We celebrate all manner of life.
Life is so good.
We enjoy making it.
He gets to a pervy smile. But he seems like really interested in the bucket and is easily just a little maybe too familiar. Forgive me, mine Scropian Zexit is my name. And he has a sort of flamboyant but also menacing demeanor about him.
My name is Weirus Dune, and I was chosen by the gods to return my people to the sea. And I give the same 5-minute spiel I give everyone. But I play like the abbreviated version of the song.
And I'm Ophelia, and this is baby Cecil.
Delightful. Well, if you're ready, I can take you to Nasha. But
We are
have you
ready.
eaten yet? You're not.
And he sort of like sniffs you.
asked you sort of eat, and have you bathed recently? Oh,
Is this am I picking up? Is this one of those like alignment languages? Kind of like if I belong to a church, I might speak. I'm referring to the Gygaxian alignment languages.
sure, yeah,
where if you're
yeah.
a member of the faith, you might know some things.
It's like he's definitely referring to like occult items of occult significance. It sounds less like like an archaic sort of cosmic allegiance code, and more of a like checking off a list of weird taboos sort of list.
I have had nothing to eat. I have not eaten a single day in my life.
Extraordinary. And then he kind of looks at Ophelia.
I do not bathe. I do not believe in it. Though I don't judge those that do. More power to them. Take all them baths. Wash your immunity off. You'll die when the winter comes.
Yes, they will.
I require certain amounts of salt water to stay hydrated, and I really like eating.
That will do. And
We prove people of different faiths can make a marriage work.
I have to stay moist.
yes, and there's a series of ramps that kind of leads you up. The other three of them don't really seem to talk unless engage them directly, and they lead you up through the city. If you look back,
Oh no.
the knoll is no longer in the water. Its body is not.
Probably got eaten.
Oh.
Good luck. But you are taken via these ramps over towards this converted riverboat, basically. And it's sort of I don't know, you can tell from inside that there is a lot of shouting, a lot of sort of rowdiness going on. And it's sort of it's a pirate's riverboat kind of situation. They're all just kind of drunk and loud and laughing. But you can't hear a roar of something coming from inside, and it sounds distinctly bestial. And if you like, they will take you straight inside.
Take us straight in. Let's do it.
All right, let's check back up on Larimar. Any new updates from Larimar?
From the land of everything is terrible and I hate it.
I don't even know why you play.
It's true. I don't know. Maybe I just like to chase death every week. Who knows? Yeah, Larimar is making their way back to the kelp forest. I know that they've traveled a good deal from the kelp forest to get to the oil rig. So whenever they get back there, their plan is just to like find these eggs, take like 3 of them, like bare minimum. Just do the bare minimum of what they've been asked to do. Get 3 eggs, take them to the cave, swim out, and hope that this never is a thing that they have to do again.
Yeah, that sounds great. So it takes about an hour-ish to get from where you were back to the thing, but you've been swimming for a while and everything.
Yeah.
At some point along the way, you hear from underneath now the sound of more of the techno otters fighting. You could they're the distinct gunshots that that you heard from the first time.
That's fine. When Larimar swims, they stay as close to like the bed as possible, so they can see down there.
Gotcha. So you leave the sounds of that as you go along, and get back into the that first large body of water, the cove where the kelp forest is. Looking at it in the in the night, the light of the moons, it looks like you'd have to cover a lot of water to find them there.
Ugh. Yeah. Larimar's just sort of looking around like, oh, it's much darker than the last time I looked here. Thankfully, they have double sight, but even still, this isn't. Maybe I should have just gone into. No, that's stupid. That would have been worse. Okay, I'll just do my best. I'll do my best, and nobody can fault me for doing my best. It's gonna start Swimming through the kelp forest trying to find some eggies.
Mm-hmm. So there is a.
Oh, you know what?
Yeah.
While they're swimming through the kelp forest, I think that they will use Call to the Wave, their shape water, and just like move the kelp that is easily moved. So if anything is heavier than regular kelp, it will stay put, but just like send currents through the water as sort of like an not quite echolocation, but just to feel the frequency in the water and see.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. So you start with that. As you're searching for it, you notice that there's really not a lot of wildlife here. You're maybe, I don't know how familiar Larimar is with kelp forests and the like, but usually there's a lot of fish and other kinds of aquatic life in them. And this seems there's some bottom feeders around here, but for the most part, there's not nearly as much life as you might expect to find here. So we'll leave Larimar maybe as you sort of like go about this.
Cool.
Searching for these kraken eggs in the dead kelp forest, and yeah,
leave us to stew in our anxiety. It's fine.
yes, and then back at Corsair's Notch, where the pirates are gathered. Now, you guys just follow them straight in? Is there a plan? What's y'all's intent over here?
Plan?
Oh, I'm calling out for Nasher. Where is Nasher? I imagine Weirus is kind of like the Steve from Blue's Clues of the land between two rivers. Hey, everybody. It's like,
You catch
we
a
just
glimpse.
got a letter. Yeah, like, Weirus just comes in. Yeah.
Yeah, I've started to watch Blue's Clues recently. Or rather, I've been present in the room. It's all.
That's what all of us dads say. Little yo gabba gabba. Get in there.
In there. You kind of catch a glimpse of him first through one of the windows. Rather large, hulking figure with glistening, sleek, green-black skin. And sort of like a two-tone element to it, sort of like darker on outside of his arms, back, head, massive triangle-shaped kind of head with sort of horns and fins and frills. And as you get a better look at Nasher, see a rather enormous humanoid-looking shark that has distinct scaly features. Something's up with it. It does not look like, it certainly doesn't look anything like a Sahagwin or any of the other sort of shark folk that you might be aware of. And he's covered in lacerations, scars, old wounds, and is sitting at a large table, sort of like back to the bench, arms out, and two weird-looking eel things are attached to points on one on his chest, one on his abdomen, and you can see like blood dripping down from where they are attached. It's like a little dribble, not like a gushing torrent of it. And he's laughing and drinking out of some massive flagon or something, surrounded by a bunch of smelling orcs, trollkin, and the like.
All right, I think now's the time to debut my hit single from the other night, the Ballad of Bellet, and I'm going to, kind of announce my arrival as first mate of the vessel. Pull out my lyre, bust it out, really get festive. How much damage do I take? No.
You can maybe a perform roll if you want.
Sure, I'd love to do that. Because it's I spend my proficiencies wisely with this character.
Yeah.
All right, so that's not bad. So that'd be a 17.
Hey.
Not bad at all. Yeah. They stop and sort of listen. What's that? And Is any sort of announcement from Ophelia or anything? Or you're just coming in?
I'm just coming in. I'll live high with a couple tentacles.
Yeah, there's a loud sort of, "What's that over there?" as Nasher like turns his giant shark face to you, and what melodious and beautiful music, and invites.
It's called Against All Odds. It's by Phil Collins. You wouldn't know him. He's a.
Scorpion, what are these? Who are these people? You brought me dinner. No.
And you just sort of, that's a joke apparently, because everybody kind of starts laughing.
Sit down. It would be shameful of me not to show you all of the hospitality that I can summon.
You're great beyond your reputation.
You seem quite pleased with that.
Flirtatiously and beautiful to boot.
Now, what is it? Why have you sought an audience with me?
I defer to Ophelia because I can't remember every plot point. I've been juggling 9 lies in my head.
Oh, so you see, my husband here, he is the first mate of the vessel that is captained by...
Empress of the Sea. Sorry.
Yes, the Empress of the Sea, by Bellet as the captain, and she said we were supposed to rendezvous with you, and so we came out as a forward greeting party.
Ah, excellent. I have been expecting her. First mate, you say? Greetings. Very good. Do you...
Go ahead, Grant.
No, I'm the first meet. I mean the first mate.
Are you here to conduct business, or are you here merely to start negotiations?
Well, I'm what the good captain refers to as a tease.
I do not like to be teased.
Oh, you might enjoy this teasing. You enjoyed the music, didn't you?
Indeed.
Is there any other entertainment you'd like before the rest arrive?
There's a blood sport later. And
blood sports.
Yes, blood sport.
Do you have a champion?
Not tonight. We have more of an exhibition.
Slam poetry. Oh.
To celebrate a new arrival, rather.
Oh.
If you don't mind me asking, what's the story with old Elabs over here? And I point at the... That wasn't Nasher, was it?
No. The
weird scaly shark abomination.
Nasher, the weird scaly shark abomination is Nasher.
Okay, I had it in my head that there were 2 of these things.
Sorry,
and, no, that's good. So that's even better. That simplifies this. He is not one to F with. Yeah, so I
could take him.
Yo, he hot though?
I got him.
I think I actually know how he looks.
Have you read Slumbering Ursine Dunes? Because that's the sort of image I got. I'll show you guys.
We'll see. I'd like to see it.
Yeah. But yes, it is. Nasher is the giant scaly shark man with the lamprey imps, because they do have the lampreys do have humanoid hands.
Dummy thick shark boys, we're in for this.
Which is a thing. They are used by non-hand possessing fish peoples as a way to acquire a set of hands. That's makes sense, right? All right. Yeah, he seems to be. He sort of like occupies himself for a minute with like hors d'oeuvres or something. It looks like they're having actually kind of a nice party for what they have. They seem to have, at the very least, well provisioned. If everybody kind of looks a little malnourished.
Yeah, and it's one of these things too where I think I want to talk to old Jabberjaw here. I went Nasher. So I just want to make sure my wife and I are being treated fairly. These are the rates Bellet's paying us. And does that sit well with you? Is that what you'd pay a first mate of noble origin? Has a blade blessed by the gods?
Yes. It's a fair rate, I suppose. Perhaps if you were with a more successful crew, there'd be opportunities for advancement.
Interesting. Well, I'm going to fake drunk. Try to not open my mouth too often.
Right.
What you up to, Ophelia?
And he's
Mother of
happy to,
Krakens.
after a while, chat for a while.
What is it then you've sent here to tease, to make me wait longer? She's late, you know. Must be nearby.
Metagame timeout. I actually can't remember or recall.
Oh, that's
it wasn't here.
Yeah. So he's basically just like trying to pump you for information about where she might be, that sort of thing.
And Weirus is kind of an idiot. So here's what Weirus is going to do. He's going to, almost nonchalantly, he's going to say, well, if I can level with you, and he just starts spilling the beans, spilling the guts. Well, we're here, and this is going on, and she's in a foul mood, and, we haven't been getting along, so she sent us up as an advance party. But as I'm saying all this, while Weirus naturally is just being an imbecile, he kind of has that divine air about him, where it's almost like I'm so confident in my abilities, I can monologue and spill the guts, because it don't matter. I got this sword.
Nash follows along with like, oh, fascinating.
That's too bad for her. I heard that she had a mutiny recently. Perhaps it's affected her confidence.
And he seems more excited and hopeful.
You know, Nasher, you've hit the nail on the head. She's got no confidence.
Yes.
And he seems, he's quite pleased with himself. And
you can tell she doesn't quite know what to do with her hair. She's second guessing everything she wears. She looks fine, but she won't hear it.
A shame, then. She used to be the terror of the bay. Well, if you talk to her, tell her I am eagerly awaiting her and have what it is that she hopes to acquire.
And he kind of like, he's wearing sort of like, what maybe once would have been a vest or something. It's now more like a pocket with an armhole, and he like reaches in and pulls out a scroll case and opens it up enough to show you that
the second half of the map.
Looks like the second half of the map. Yeah,
you've got the second half. Now I remember the hooks. Yeah.
And so we've only like played like twice in the last 8 weeks. So yes, he's got the other half of the map that Bell had hoped to acquire.
Would you be willing to wager that?
Perhaps this map here led us to great and wondrous things, or we hope it will. What is it that you would wager for it?
My child. Sorry, Lindy. I had to think of something that might entice him.
Everybody laughs. Yeah, kind of.
I'd wager my. Tell you what, I'd wager. I tell you what I want. You tell me what you want. You must be a creature of great desire. Kind of say, licking my lips. Oh gosh, this is Weirus's first time. I don't know what we're afraid of.
Sort of. There's a moment here that everybody's laughing for a minute. Oh, it's a baby, haha. Yeah. And then as Weir sort of makes Sovereign, the immediate surroundings react and go quiet, and all the other pirates sort of pay attention to this exchange.
Well, I suppose now that you ask, there is something that I would like. You see, Bellet has a half of a map, and I greatly desire the treasure that is marked on that map. Now, how I acquire it is of no consequence. It could be that an enterprising and ambitious young father has decided to help out prospective patron.
Well, I do have a family to support.
Yes. Is that a yes?
Well, I want you to lay out the terms very clearly, for I am a Triton of very little brain, and you are a man of great intelligence, degrees, etc.
Yeah.
I apologize for that. I'm a little slow in the head.
He's more. At some point, he seems frustrated with having to do complex executive functions. And Mendo, get over here. And at that point, there is a
Drinks all around.
And mysterious-looking mage of some sort, obviously an arcanist, filled with his staff and all kinds of ritual talismans and the like. And comes up to Master, of course. The conditions would be there. 2 tons of gold from the isle. We know that there are a great many storehouses, but we only require a small portion of the island's wealth. There is also a city on the map, an elven city. They were said to be phenomenal mages. We desire their lore and a certain incantation found there. That is all that we require.
This sounds very good.
Yeah.
But, what if I could open the gates of heaven for you and earn you a throne to sit upon and be remembered by the gods and the people of this planet forever? And I'm saying this as sincere as possible. Well, essentially what I'm edging for, or kind of trying to get, is a persuasion roll to lower his terms.
Mm-hmm. You get that, and there's a let's see. There's a bit of a silence, and you see Mendo kind of look back to Nasher, and what starts with Nasher starts off with this curious sort of look, and then starts to slowly chuckle. Mendo turns back to Trey. You see, the gates of heaven are useless to us. I have seen an empty throne. The gods fled before the real powers. And if you knew what was good for you, you would open your mind to our gods. And that is when you see the knoll walk back in, just dripping wet.
Oh, wow. That's intense. My first instinct is to try to sever his head and divine smite him and be like, my God beats your God. No, instead I'm just going to be like, I like the term. So we've settled, you get an equal share, the same as everyone else. Thank you for saying. No, yeah.
And at the same time, you could see Nasher just kind of like, looking at you and smiling and sort of like, yes.
I totally get it. You give us that half of the map, you're going to get equal share. Lest I make my oath. I make my oath at 3rd level, it's going to be complicated. There was some ridiculous chaotic one.
The treachery one?
No, it was the oath of deliverance.
Oh.
Someone homebrewed it this week,
Oh.
and it's like the chaotic neutral.
Oh,
There's gonna be a comeuppance.
Uh-huh. Yeah. All right. Yeah.
We'll figure it out. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. That's fine. So, yeah, that's what they're offering. So you're offering them, they give you your half of the map, and they will get a share of the treasure.
They'll get a share. They'll get an equal share, the same as everyone else, because we can't complete the mission without their half the map, and there's no reason anyone, there's no reason to shed blood or anything like that.
Mm-hmm. They think about it for a bit. You can see Nash and Mendo, they're not talking with each other. They're just like staring really intently into each other's eyes.
Yeah.
And one of Mendo's eyes is like a different color than the other. It's almost like an emerald green. The other is like a brown or brown, I guess. I don't know what you call it. The other is like a definite, almost bioluminescent quality to it. They stare at each other for a while, and the crowd around here the party is in a lull, basically.
Yeah.
The map for share, and any of the spells or magic incantations that you come across, especially those related to the night serpent.
So I'm thinking, metagame, I would think this is Dendar. Weirus, does Weirus know any story of night serpents? He's a student of religion.
Yeah, you know that there's a lot of creatures that are written about in the stories that your people took with you about the depths of the ocean, what it hides, and fantastical tales of it. The night serpent is it was referenced in those, but in terms of like what it is exactly, or its metaphysical status, it's always like just described as a giant beastie.
Okay, so Weirus says, we will create an inventory and an accounting of all scrolls and magics. We will require the assistance of a learned arcanist to discern all of the magics, lest we shortchange you. Who on your side is going to audit the runes and listings that we create?
Myself, that's Nasher. Mendo, surprised. Myself and Scrobion will verify them. We are well versed in a variety of archaic languages.
I look to Ophelia for approval. How's the wife doing?
She's got the baby bucket held close, especially after you offered to trade it.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm a bad father.
And she doesn't know much of these terms, but it sounds fair enough. Halvesies.
Well, I need to see when we finally find Larimar if I can convince Larimar to forge a bunch of fake documents with me, so we can be like, "This is all we found. It was just a bunch of baloney." I totally want to lie to these pirates and they get killed for it. So it's just kind of like, all right, you have a deal, and I want everyone to cheer. Yeah.
Everybody's
dun, 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 dun.
as they're cheering. Nasher kind of approached us. Your captain sent word that she had found a scholar of the Ancient Ones. I had hoped to meet the scholar and pick their brain.
I'd like to meet them too, but they are what we refer to as a recluse. They are laconic. They are a whisper. They are a shadow. Have you heard the legend of Larimar? And I mean, I've just been dabbling with some of these verses, and it's just kind of like... before I can really play, I was like, you most certainly will have the opportunity one day.
Excellent.
I reach out to receive the map.
He drains his goblet that he's got of some dark burgundy liquid, and passes you the scroll case with the route
to the remaining portions of the Isle of Light. Looking at it, it is to the east of here, and looks like it might be a ways away.
All right. I think we got to get this back to our good Captain Bellet. I think it's late and we have to spend the night here, though, right? Unless we want to force march it back in the dark.
Yeah, unless you want to swim back in the dark. There's accommodations here.
I mean, I heard there was going to be blood sport, so if you would watch the baby bucket and not sell the baby to anyone.
I was just teasing you, my love. I say it. I kind of do that. It's like
the blood sport is down one deck below. They've cut like a hole in the bottom of the lower deck. Sort of like a big, kind of like a big swimming pool sized section of it. And there's clearly some kind of cage that's been built underneath it. And as everybody gets there, everybody's excited. There's the water has already been chummed. As you can see that there's bits of viscera and blood sort of floating on it.
Gotta chum the water. Gotta get chummy with the water first.
And there is a moment, sort of like hushed. There's drums and these deep sort of percussions and reverberations. The whole lower deck starts like shake and vibrate. And there is an announcer somewhere in the crowd. We are pleased tonight to introduce the newest member of our menagerie, a gift from the Satopic maiden herself, the ruthless spined lobstock. And that is when like a surge of water and this red-shelled spined great white shark kind of with claws and a thing just kind of like swims around, starts eating the chum, and it's basically a bunch of hyped up berserkers are going to get in the water with it and see if they can they both consider an act of devotion to be devoured by it, and a test of their skill to see if they can survive. And so about 20 of them get in the water with nothing but clubs and sorry, club. They don't have little lobster hammers.
Little mallets. Shells.
And starts the blood sport because it's a ruthless and messy affair. There's not really a splash. Everybody's in the splash zone. Yeah. And that's kind of it. I don't know. We'll see how many survive here in just a minute. But it lasts a while. Are y'all doing anything during it other than watching? Trying to do anything else?
I think she'll watch for a little while. Just curious. It's a different kind of blood sport than she's used to, but intriguing. Learning about other cultures is interesting.
Keeping an eye out for those priests that did all that drowning, trying to see if they're up to secret combinations and shenanigans.
I'll watch the baby bucket if you want to do that.
No. I've got young Cecil. All right. You hold it.
There is a. You see a lot of people around here have the same kind of holy symbol that they had, which seemed like a tentacled orb of some kind.
I approve.
It's clearly some sort of like cephalopod or squid kind of thing going on.
A noble symbol.
And it easily half the people here have some kind of tattoo, marking, scarification, homemade icon depicting either some kind of deep sea creature.
Interesting. I might fit in because if you recall, my shield had the beautiful lady head with the kraken. Yeah. Oh yeah,
they love it. They see their shield in there, then they highly approve of it. There's beautiful craftsmanship. And you see the actual members who are conducting the ceremony several times during the evening. They get as much into the blood sport as anybody else. But yeah, whatever's going on here, it seems as though there is. You're definitely getting some cult vibes from these pirates. And let's check in on Laramar. Looking for the Kraken eggs.
Having a delightful time.
They're delightful.
As you are searching, moving the water out of the way, the kelp strands part enough that the moonlight illuminates the lagoon, and you can see a flock of some kind of winged humanoid flying rather low that passes between the lagoon and the moon. It looks like they're circling around in some kind of search pattern.
Oh, no, thank you. I'll just stay down here. I'm all right. Thank you very much.
You can make me a stealth roll with advantage.
Oh, rude.
I mean, come on. You've got plenty of kelp to hide in.
All right, yeah. With advantage. I rolled my big dice. It's my advantage, yay!
Boom. All right.
I did it.
Yeah, they sort of like fly around in a spiral, and there are at least 6 of them. At some point, they split up into 3 groups of 2. One of those groups flies low over the water where you're at, but they do not seem to notice you. They are definitely harpies.
Oh, okay. Well, that's terrifying, and I would love it if they minded their own business. Yeah, Larimar's gonna just sort of like walk along the bottom of the riverbank, just like, please go away. Please don't come down here. I just can't. I can't handle any more tonight, please.
They don't seem to notice you. They're doing something, looking for something, and after a few minutes, fly off deeper into the swamp.
Mind your own business.
It's not long after that you stumble across your first kraken egg, and indeed is about the size of a volleyball, maybe a cantaloupe, dark amber in color, and has some kind of writhing octopus-like creature inside of it.
Oh, disgusting. Oh, ooh, a tiny creature. Larimar is going to like take like the kelp. How wide is the kelp?
There are a variety of strands. The biggest are like a beach towel.
Okay, yeah. They're gonna take that and like make like a sort of sling and sort of like just like plop a little volleyball in there. It's just like, well, hopefully there's more of you where this came from, because I don't want to be out here all night.
Mm-hmm. I think perhaps that as Larimar touches them, there's a brief like psychic connection between you and the creature. Like it's not like full-blown telepathy. You definitely get a sense of this thing's mind and its mental state, and it already, even as a egg shape, you sense that it's quite intelligent.
Oh, that's delightful. Hello, tiny creature.
It's like an impression, or like a flash of emotion kind of hits you rather than like a word or anything.
Okay.
And impatience is the emotion that you feel.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know we were on your schedule. Okay. Do you have any idea where I can get 2 more of you?
There's the thing shakes and vibrates.
No. Okay. That's fine. Do you feel safe here? Is this a safe area?
Oh no, that it shakes much more.
Oh, okay.
Vigorously.
Oh, okay. Well, let's go find a few more of you, I guess. Can Larimar get a sense of what this impatience is? Like,
it's not like it's an eagerness.
An eagerness.
It's sort of a chomping at the bit.
Oh, delightful. Positive feelings.
Yeah, there's a lot of energy coming from it. In fact, even just holding it for a long time, and Ophelia would have noticed this as well. Like you almost get a sense of like you're getting charged up.
Oh.
Something like you could just feel like electricity or something.
Oh, that's very cool. And Larimar will kind of like continue looking through the kelp forest in search of other ones. But now I think because they are feeling like that charge and they're getting a sense of this imprint of impatience on them, they're just like kind of haphazardly moving kelp now. Just like shoo, shoo, shoo.
Sure. So it takes you a bit longer to find a little more of them, but they're mostly clustered in like the back center of the kelp forest.
Oh,
and
delightful.
as you eventually find, I mean, there's thousands of them. You'll find 3 of them.
Does the impatience increase the more of them there are together?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. We should go ahead and get this done. We should get this done. We should get out of here. Why are we still here? I'm in charge. Okay. And like Larimar will like half run, swim, sprint towards the caves.
Okay. If you just like boogie straight there,
Mm-hmm.
you don't need to roll anything. If you were going to try stealth, you need to roll stealth. But otherwise, you swim fine, and we'll see what happens when we get back to Larimar. All right, guys. All right. So at some point, the blood sport match, just kind of like the original 20 that were in there, have been replaced by other enthusiastic members. Some of them that you're not sure what the criteria is get healed. Some of them don't. It's not life viability. There are plenty of people who seem still healthy and the like who haven't received any kind of attention. So this seems like it has the sense that it's going on for a while as they really get into it.
Well, the baby needs sleep, so I will go find a place to rest for the night.
Okay. Yeah, how long are y'all?
Weird starts wondering. He's like, "Are we in separate beds? What's going on here?" So many questions.
Classic rom-com.
Just one bed trope.
Yeah. So there are a variety of ramshackle buildings around here. Most of them made from reclaimed ship lumber and scrap from the jungles. There is that rather large building at the other end of this small lagoon, but there's no lights coming from it, nothing like that. And just this general, it's like a large village. You could tell that there's a path that leads deeper into the jungle. You could go a variety of different places out of here, east or west, or just striking on your own. Y'all have anything particular in mind?
I'm gonna see if I can snag us a roof for the night. There might not be a house attached to it, so I grab some floating driftwood. Yeah, I want to see what I can do to get some accommodations. Nice accommodations for this ramshackle pirate village.
Mm-hmm.
I am first mate, and I've just promised them shares. They need to take good care of us.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Waste away in the middle of the night.
Yeah, the Thoreau is the first mate of Nash's ship, and she kind of like showed you out to the guests' quarters. Where she's got like a hook hand and an eye patch and a peg leg.
Oh, deal.
She's got like an eye patch, then hair over the other eye. She's that kind of anime character. How do I see it all?
Yeah, she's like a grizzled sailor over here. She saunters over to you, and show you to your rooms.
Thank you.
And unless you want to go exploring or anything, they give you accommodations. Whether they're not, it's dry.
And then we're gonna take these pitons, spike the door shut so people can't kick it open and murder us in our sleep.
Mm-hmm. Got to protect.
Yeah.
Protect the little one.
Get the bassinet ready for our little squirmy egg thing.
Mm-hmm.
And make sure to rotate the egg in the bucket.
Yeah. Make sure it doesn't get a flat spot.
And roll out my bedroll and.
I feel so sad.
Gosh, this is kind of like when Gildan had to share a room with Myrrh that one night. It's like, Gildan, where are you sleeping? On the end of the bed like a dog? Larimar pulls out, a seagrass bedroll and just kind of plops on the ground. He's like,
Oh, he wants a bed. I'll sleep underneath it.
No thanks. I don't do very well when I'm strangled in the middle of the night. Oh, that's what you octopi do, don't you? Like,
no.
Grope at the darkness and find things.
We don't purposely find things to strangle. It's I'm asleep. No.
Not really.
I'm gonna go and crawl into the bed. It's one of those things. I think Weirus has like a ridiculous nightgown. It's just kind of like.
Please tell me he's got the nightcap to like.
He has the hat with the diddly bob, and there's like unnecessary frills, and there's it's kind of an odd color, and a small stuffed animal.
Ophelia just squeezes in underneath the bed and just pulls the bucket in so that the bucket's in the center.
I was so worried the tentacles were going to go over the top.
I mean, they could.
I'm very snug. I'm very snug.
Plug it in.
All right. I'm gonna roll something, and we'll see. Yeah, we'll see. I think that I'm pretty sure
There would be monsters under this bed.
There's so many monsters under that bed. And let's see here. So Larimar was just booking it back to the ship, not stopping, not trying to mess around.
To the caves.
Oh, to the caves. That's right. Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Larimar would never disappoint something that could so easily melt their brain.
That's a good strategy.
Yeah, I guess the only thing that you see are a group of what look to be humanoid liquid people of some kind, trundling along the shore edge, and they're carrying what look to be alchemical equipment, 4 of them, and that's about it. They are not hostile to you. They don't even seem like they care if they even saw you, but. You otherwise make it back to the cave without anyone stopping you or accosting you. That kind of. It sounds quiet in there.
Cool. Can I see anything with my devil sight?
Mm-hmm. It looks the same as it did before. It doesn't look like those scavengers are here that y'all ran out the day before. You don't see any more sign of them. And if you make it back into that second room where y'all found like what looked like old living quarters that had been long since abandoned, you don't see anything in the dark unless you want to really try to look for something.
It's so scary in here.
Turn over a rock or anything. Down that tunnel, that sort of spiraling tunnel, you just see floating bits of stuff in the water. As it, seems pretty still and quiet.
I think for a moment that Larimar considers blending into the shadows and trying to very stealthily place the eggs at the mouth of the cave and leave. But there's not a lot of point in trying to hide from something that you've already let in your mind twice. So Larimar does just the most awkward cartoonish tiptoe through the caverns to find a place to place these eggs. How do the eggs feel? Are they more anxious or are they eager or
they're vibrating pretty intensely right now.
Okay.
And you can see inside of them they're just spinning turbines almost.
Cool. Yeah, Larimar is just kind of gently prod out, just hello, I've got the eggs. I could just put them here. Just go, just set them here.
Deafening silence of nothing.
Oh no. Oh, the worst.
Yeah.
I don't want to be ghosted by an eldritch abomination. Yeah. Larimar just goes in a little bit further. It is just hello, mentally. It's just hello. And it's just getting into that really annoying rhythm of just hello. Can I leave them here? Is that fine? Are you? But still going deeper into these caves.
How far in does there we go.
I guess until I get an answer.
You, as you swim through the next cavern, you round this kind of spiral, and on the wall is this relief sculpture of what appears to be a triangle with 3 circles in it in a row, like on a stack. So it's like the triangle points down, 3 in a stack, and it's worn. You can see that this sculpture is either, I don't know how long it's been here or something, but it's the features of it, the edges of it are worn away. But it curiously has no like water damage to it. It is nothing, no like barnacles are growing on it. No, otherwise the rest of the cave has like, little, like little aquatic vegetation.
Right.
Yeah.
Is it like the other rooms I've been in where there's like battle damage and stuff from before it sank?
There is, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the same sort of like battle scar on the walls, not on the icon itself, but in the room that it's in.
Larimar is going to open like their personal field guide that they keep and just do like a quick doodle and then close it and set it in their pocket and keep going.
Okay. And as you just a second. There it is. As you are making that doodle, you notice that there is an inscription at the bottom that's partially covered up by silt. There's just like a lot of sand and dirt and everything here.
I mean, obviously, I have to move that silt and look at what this inscription is. Ooh, I hate it. Let me look at my character traits real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no! Yeah, I absolutely do.
Okay.
Absolutely. Try to see what this inscription is.
All right. This is in Old Aquan. So it's a millennia. There's been eons almost since anyone's ever used it. But it's enough of it is legible to you. And it seems to be a list of titles or something. The first one translates as the wolf at the gates. The next one is the unseen evil, ancient traveler, eon strider, they who remember all, and then lastly is the dead-eyed whale. And that is what it's like it almost has the cadence of like not an incantation, but a hymn or a praise.
Yeah, Larimar will sort of look at that, and as they write this down, they put little stress marks in place to know where like the syllables go and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then they'll just sort of like, they'll touch the inscription and they'll look all around the sculpture for anything else.
Okay. I mean, there's all kinds of like broken like amphora and the like in here. I mean, you could spend a while searching through the rest of the silt.
No, Larimar will look for like what's readily here.
Gotcha. It looks like this place has been abandoned for a while. Most everything you've found here is broken.
Okay.
And as you look around, you don't see anything that's obviously like of value or interest that you can see. You can keep going in the tunnel if you wanted.
Yeah, Larimar's going to keep going down the tunnel, just like looking. Is this the same tunnel that it was trying to beckon them down earlier?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, there's only ever been one passageway through here.
Yeah, Larimar's going to just going to keep going because they haven't done any character growth yet. Larimar's just going to keep, but like there's some trepidation.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like, oh, this is getting spooky, but it's going to be done soon, and that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
That's fine. It'll be done soon, and I'll just leave and I don't know what happens after this. Okay. I'll just get there and then I'll figure it out with my 12 wisdom. Yeah, so.
As you swim through, you eventually break through the surface, and the tunnel continues on out of the water. It's heading up, obviously.
Don't love it. Larimar will look around and then sort of cautiously pull themselves out of the water.
Okay.
Is it a cave or?
Yeah, it sort of like widens out, and you can see there's also like calcite formations that have formed here. It's a living cave, right? So there's moss and lichen and like on the walls, little cave crickets chirping around, and you, there's like an echoing quality to it. You don't know where it's coming from. There's some sort of rhythmic pulsing noise or air vibration or something. It's not like an instrument or something like that. It's more of something that you feel in your cartilage.
Oh. Yeah, Larimar is just gonna sort of look back at the water and then look at the tunnel as like, well, technically, if this is the halfway point, then I would have to go twice as far to get back. So, okay. It's just kind of like amping themselves up to go down this tunnel, which they do. But they will, as they go down this tunnel, they'll have one hand on the eggs, and then the other hand is sort of like gently tracing the wall a little bit, just to sort of like have an idea of which way they're going, you know. One hand on the wall, and you can't get lost.
Yes, exactly. And Larimar continues on into the darkness. Back at the Corsair's Notch, you're mostly left alone. A couple of people, like, just a little loud outside your door, that kind of thing. But it sounds like that most of the pirates here spend the good portion of the night in that old riverboat, watching whatever monstrosities they have underneath it do their thing. At some point in the early hours of the morning, a light drizzle becomes a torrential thunderstorm as sheets of rain just like crash down from the sky, and you can't even really see it. It's sort of like this uniform gray with streaks of greenish lightning that arc through it. And so you are awoken by the sounds of a rather large thunderstorm that has built up and seems to be going strong. Are y'all going to head straight back to the ship, or do something else?
Well, if it's storming out, we did say we'd get back to the ship to meet at the bay. So I think swimming underwater where it's going to be less turbulent would be the way to go about it.
As you leave, you can see that most of the crews are either getting on the big warship anchored there, or other smaller boats, and they seem to be, like, honestly, it looks like they stayed up all night, and they are all headed out into the cove. They've all got sort of drums and great big instruments. There's banners and the like that many of them are carrying, and the ships have more like of a parade float feel than like pirate ship this time around. They're all like decorated and so you watch them as they start making their way out into the cove as well.
Whereas, do you think Cecil needs any brothers or sisters before we leave?
Oh, I always expected to raise at least 3 children, so we probably
Okay, we'll pick up 2 more on the way back to the ship.
The twins.
Cecil is spinning fast enough to knock the water out of the bucket.
Oh, Cecil, he definitely wants brothers and sisters. Let's go quickly, so they can all hatch together.
And let's see here. So, are you guys get in the water?
We'll pick up 2 more Kraken eggs and meet up at the boat.
As you're swimming to the lagoon where you found the kraken eggs the night before, you can see that the water is almost bubbling and just like churning with something. It appears as though it's just absolutely frothing where the eggs were found. Of course, there were thousands of them spread out across a very large area, so like it looks more like a third of the lagoon is boiling. And the pirates sort of are sitting at the edge of this and appear to be playing music. They've got giant, what look like lightning rods, like giant copper rods with tines on them that they begin setting up and lowering into the water. That seems what they're doing. You could grab a kraken egg there, right there. There's nobody in the water at the moment.
Yeah. Let's grab 2 more. Let's get Cecil some siblings.
Okay.
Yes. I look for the strongest of the group.
Which one's spinning fastest?
All right, which one's spinning?
All right.
Actually, which one goes against the grain? If they're all spinning that way, I want the one that's.
Oh yeah, we want the one that's spinning the opposite way. Gotta get the rebel.
Gotta get the Australian one.
Yeah, you see, most of them spin sort of in the same general direction. It looks like each cluster kind of has a dominant spin direction. But if you're looking for one that's sort of standing out, maybe going a little faster in a different direction, you can find one of those like that.
Oh, and I want a little one, like maybe the runty kraken.
Oh no, the run to the litter. That's it. Yeah.
It's all buried under the others.
Oblio. God.
And it's not long before then when the first lightning bolt cracks down out of the sky, hits one of the lightning rods, and arcs through the water along the eggs. And there starts to be multiple of these lightning strikes, and the water begins to froth and boil even further. Are y'all going to stick around there, or are y'all?
Probably get out.
We're taking the children away.
Yes. Yeah. Let's go.
Come on, Leo.
As multiple lightning strikes hit the eggs, the sound noise in the water grows louder and louder until, as you leave the cove and sort of look back, you can see that the waters of the lagoon are churning with thousands of baby, newly spawned kraken that are making their way towards the entrance to do something. I think maybe that is a good time to call it before we get too far into what's going on. We've got Larimar deep in a mountain, a proper cave even, doing something for some eldritch horror, and Wyrus and Ophelia running about like half a mile ahead of a wave of thousands of newly spawned kraken.
With our 3 children. With
your 3 children who are breaking through their soft egg sacs as we speak.
Life found a way.
So we will call it there and save it for the next time we can play. And I don't know. I really enjoying the aquatic setting here, and I like the fact that on the pirate ship, if not everybody can make it, it just makes a lot of it. I don't know, it works better. It's like, hey, you're on the ship or somewhere else. Anyway, thank you for watching, everybody. Thank you for enjoying, whether it's been here on Twitch or on YouTube. Let's see what our players are up to, where we can find them, and all that good business. TK, what is up?
It's me. It's TK. Writing spooky stories, putting them on the internet. You can go to my website, tkjwrites.com. Go there. I don't update it. Whatever. Ha ha, waste of money. Just kidding. It's not a bad website. I like it. I do need to update it though. Follow me on Twitter. If you like D&D fitness, I do a question of the day every day so that I remember that I need to work out. It has great questions on there, such as what is your character's zodiac sign, and what is their favorite dessert, and what is the act that they've just done that is they are most ashamed of. Yeah, bad decision making. Love it. Yeah, I play a lot of Dungeons and Dragons. Demon Plague finale is coming up this Tuesday, and then Jace Bellerin Must Die is the It's a thing I do. I don't know. My little murder toddler. Yeah, lots of regrets. And then I'm on this show and it's awesome. And then on the 9th of August, Tales from the Mist is coming back. So if you like choose your own adventure stories that can't be called choose your own adventure because of legal reasons, then you should follow that on Twitter too at Miss Tales D&D because everything is terrible in that story too, except I'm in charge of it. So it's great for me. Buy my book.
Goes another way.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, yes. Can't wait to take this out on my friends.
Yeah. Well, it seems healthy. Seems healthy. And Lindy.
That was fun. I'm gonna be a mom. I'm gonna have Kraken babies.
Tiny Kraken babies.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Out of a newly spawned Kraken now.
I love Kraken so much. They're just so great. So I'm very excited about that. Yeah, that was super duper fun. You can find me online at Laugh Love Lindy, where I play and NGM a lot of tabletop RPGs, both on Twitch and YouTube. Also Twitter. Check me out there to see what my schedule is, because my schedule is gonna be pretty hectic this next coming month. So definitely stay tuned for that. Till then, see you next week.
Awesome. And Grant.
I managed to get the residue of hot barbecue sauce in my eyeballs, I think, so they're like swollen shut right now.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it's the second time I've done that on stream. But hi everybody, my name's Grant. You can find me on Twitter at WisePapaGrant. I'll be at Gen Con helping facilitate the TPK tournament for 2C Gaming. Speaking of which, I was a contributing author on 2 of their books, the TPK Bestiary and the TPK Handbook Volume 2. They run a very challenging tournament where you get to fight Xanathar, and it's a contest with prizes on the line. They host that tournament at PAX Unplugged as well as Gen Con. There may be a Kickstarter launching soon, assuming Kickstarter approves it. I believe Jim Davis might be an author on that as well, and I am also going to be a contributing author, but stay tuned and follow the Twitters for when that launches. And yeah, as far as my convention schedule, I should be at Gen Con, PAX West, PAX Unplugged, maybe at Gamehole Con. We'll see. There's like 5 or 6 shows that are lined up between now and the end of the year because convention season is upon us. Back to you, Jim.
Yes, it is. So really appreciate it and hope that you enjoyed the game, got something inspirational, or at the very least had some fun times while we did some pirate shenanigans. I can't believe we played like 3 games and barely had like 1 combat. But I also love where the game's going because it's already gotten nice and complicated. And I love the shenanigans and intrigue that Weirs and Ophelia got up to at Nasher. So it'll be great. The party now we'll have to deal with 3 baby Krakens. So eat that, Pruitt. Miniature giant space hampers. Newly spawned Krakens over here. Anyway, you guys have a great weekend, and we will see y'all next week. Adios.